What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Live before lock for the last time of the regular season. And because it's the last regular season, we had to bring on a special guest. We got Mr. Worldwide Wob himself, Rob Perez. Rob, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining the show.
First of all, your music. Can we talk about that? I mean, we're both old enough to have watched Skidamax back in the day. That is the background music to every single episode of Skidamax.
I was going to say,
Are you kidding me with that?
It's been pretty contentious because some people have been like, "Oh, that's Ocean's 11 vibes."
No,
and then there's a contingent of people that don't like Ocean's 11. We've learned, which I think is blasphemous. I think to be out on the Ocean's movie is problematic. But okay, so you find this is like softcore porn. You think we were opening up with softcore porn?
Yeah, I mean that is undoubtedly the 30 seconds where the bad conversation about the husband being on a work trip has left, and the pipes need cleaning. And,
they do. They need to be cleaned.
Takes his belt off, and instead of going to work, they lock eyes, and then that music that you just played starts.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a dead ringer for it. So congratulations on that.
And maybe that noise of it locking up has some sort of condom metaphor. Like maybe that's what's happening right there. That's good. This is the only way I wanted to start, so I'm glad we're starting this way. Dude, thanks for joining us. So we're up like a half hour earlier than normal because what we're gonna do is talk a little playoff projection here, and then Rob's gonna be dabbling into the marketplace a little bit, and then for you sickos who are like, you need to tell me who's the better play, Ryan or Rupert of the Trailblazers or one of the 47 Memphis Grizzlies who they've just gotten off the local Memphis YMCA, of which one of those are the better plays. We'll start that in about a half hour or so. And Rob, you don't know this, but every week we give away like a rare tier card to someone who has been hanging out with us. So in honor of your arrival today, what we'll do is in order to qualify for this, if the chat just likes the stream, subscribes, and put hashtag WOB. You got to do all three of those things. You have to like the stream. You have to subscribe to the channel, put hashtag WOB. And we'll throw this at the end. We're not going to do it now. We're going to make you stay for a little bit, much like Skinamax. You got to stay till the end. Yeah, we'll revisit.
No one stays to the end.
That's true. That is true. That is the opposite of it. But yeah, we'll come back to this towards the end. But I don't know, Rob. Like, how are you feeling last weekend of the season? Like, what? There's so much still up for grabs right now. I don't remember a last weekend of the NBA season where so many in both the East and the West, so much is still up for grabs.
Well, yeah, last year, I mean, it went to the wire where you could finish between what felt like 5th and 12th, at least in the Western Conference.
In the West, yeah.
The East has always been top heavy since I started watching in the mid 90s. So once you get past the 8 seed, you fall to that Bulls Hawks gutter, and one of those teams is going to have a sudden death game for potentially the 8 seed.
Yeah.
So I can't believe that's it. The Celtics are just like got to be licking their chops seeing Chicago Bulls or Atlanta Hawks in the first round. But
Dude, I saw something that the Bulls and Hawks have been matched up since like early January. That has been the 9-10 seed since January.
yeah, I mean, they're terrible. I mean, I know Trae Young just came back, but compared to the Celtics, they're terrible. The Celtics problem is if that 7-8 game becomes Heat versus Sixers somehow, one of the teams has to lose. And then they go to sudden death and they'll be hosting either Chicago or Atlanta. What if they just have a bad night?
Right.
And they don't even make the playoffs. So,
I mean, we almost saw that last year with Miami. Like that was so close to with that Miami Chicago game. They were
but the Celtics problem is like their first round matchup is supposed to be practically a bye. It's always the 1 versus 8 in the East has been traditionally those Blake Griffin Pistons against LeBron's Cavs. If they win a single game, you're like, oh my God.
I always think of Nikola Vucevic on the Magic for like 4 straight years. Like,
that's another, But to the Magic's credit, they always win the first game of that first round series. They always win game 1 behind DJ Augustine 1 year.
Right.
But these teams are terrible this year. However, there could be a way that, let's say, the Miami Heat get matched up again in the 1-8 match in the first round. They took out the Bucks last year, and we know what they did to the Celtics. They don't care about going to Boston. That is not a bye, to say the least.
I keep thinking too about whatever the 2-7 matchup ends up being, because like Philly with Embiid is a different beast. And if you are Milwaukee dinged up and you somehow hold on to the 2 seed, congrats. You get Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey in the first round. Or, I mean, you see Milwaukee, which we'll talk about more later. They're sitting Dame and Giannis, of course, but Dame's also missing tonight's game. So it might be the Bing Bong Boys of New York. They might be the 2 seed, and then they are greeted with Joel Embiid. So the East is so weird because it does still feel so top heavy, but that 2-7 matchup probably won't be a cakewalk either.
No, there's the days of cakewalk first round matchups are over. You know, for many years there in the NBA, it was there are 5 teams that you knew were going to win the title.
Yeah.
This is as recent as 10 years ago. There was LeBron's Cavs. There was the Celtics. No. So it was like the Cavs, the Hawks. No, give the Hawks credit despite winning games and getting those 1 seeds. It was the Warriors. It was the Rockets and a couple of outliers. And everyone else was dead.
Right.
They were long dead. Now, I mean, other than the Nuggets, are the favorites probably still because they look like the reigning champs, but it is nowhere near the distance to second place that it was for that entire era of 2010 to 2020 NBA. So the parity gives it a March Madness feel in a way. Seeding matters so much. I mean, last night's game between the Kings and Pelicans, so consequential.
Right.
The Pelicans now, I don't think they can finish worse than 7th. And the Kings go from like being guaranteed playoffs all the way down to back-to-back sudden death games potentially. And they got to play the Suns tonight too. They could fall way down.
And it was funny. We were all making fun of ESPN, being like, "Can we stop talking about the Lakers? Can we stop talking about the Warriors for a minute?" And now there is an outside chance that both of them are in, that they end up being the 7-8 seed, because the poor Kings, man, Malik Monk, who was just having the year of his life, he's 6th man of the year. And since he's been removed from the equation for Sacramento, there's been not a lot of beam lighting. Like it's been sad. It's been tough to watch him. Like you could really, so I watched a lot of that last night's game against the Pelicans. You could really feel that they didn't have the same oomph off the bench. It's a lot of Trey Lyles. Well,
yeah. First of all, as I was stuck this week when it comes to my weekly NBA gambling balance, and it was all in on the Pelicans last night because I'm watching Harrison Barnes hold a sign up guarding Zion Williamson like Wile E. Coyote's about to fall off the cliff, man. He's got the help sign up, and I'm just what the Kings, if there's any versatile big man on the other side, like Sabonis can only guard one of them, and even then it's an issue. They score a lot of points. Fox is great. They have dynamic offense, and they can get back into any game. But boy, are they thin out there on the perimeter. So they seem like a favorable matchup if I had to pick any of them. But there's no easy out. The Pelicans are when they get Brandon Ingram back, man, they just have hockey shifts of
just
these
dudes.
guys with Herb. Okay, so last night Herb Jones gets 4 fouls early in the fourth quarter, in the luxury of just sending in Dyson Daniels, who, if I'm not mistaken, is still 19 years old, or might have been a teenager at this season at some point. He just steps right in there, gives the same level of defense, knocking down those corner threes when the game was like Golden One Center was shaking. It was so loud because they were coming back. They have so many of these dudes, and then they have Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, Zion on the offense. Everyone knows what's coming. It doesn't matter with Zion. Valanciunas is a gargantuan human being, and as someone that once stood next to him at what's the club in Vegas, the MGM club that has Hakkasan, I think. I once had to stand next to that man. I'm like, go away, because I'm not going to get any girls. Or I got to go to the other side. This dude is like 7 feet, 290 of just pure muscle. And you saw it last night because he's just such a load down there that Sabonis is occupied with him and he can't help on Zion. They create so many matchup problems for any team out there, Nuggets included. So if I'm picking a dark horse of any kind, I'm probably leaning towards the Pels.
I know, especially because it looks like they're probably going to get matched up against OKC in the first round. And I love OKC. I've enjoyed watching them this whole time. But if there's a team that can just throw a ton of length at you, like
OKC's in trouble. They're in trouble if they get the Pels, man.
And Jonas for a while, it was funny because he was kind of played off the court for a little bit. Like Willie Green stopped using him for a couple of weeks, but in a matchup against Chet Holmgren, you were going to get a lot of body and a lot of beard from Jonas, I think, and that's going to be a tough matchup, and especially because it sounds like Ingram's going to be back for Sunday too. I think I was reading something about that, so that's going to be spicy. I'm excited for the Pels. I want them to make a run. I do. I mean, I was in Vegas for the in-season tournament, and it was real bleak. It was bleak for the Zion heads. It was bleak for the Pels, and to see where they are now, just like a few months later, like with a real ceiling in front of them. Because I agree with you. I think outside of Denver, it does feel like you could pick one of like 8 teams that you would say Denver played in the Western Conference Finals, and I'd buy all of them.
Yeah, I wish they had some more national support. I worked for the Hornets, the Pelicans, when they were the Hornets back in 2009 through 2011. So when the Saints aren't good, everyone goes to Pelicans games. That was our problem. This is when the Saints were winning Super Bowls. So when I was selling things like tickets and corporate sponsorships.
Down at the Hive?
Live at the Hive on a Friday night. That was like the big, that was how they introduced the game every night. That was awesome. That was the Chris Paul days, David West, Tyson Chandler. That series against the Spurs, but good times. But let me tell you, when the Pels are good and the Saints are bad, like that place will be hype. And they have a team that I think could make the conference finals no matter where they finish, just because of, you mentioned it, like if they get matched up with Oklahoma City somehow, they have Herb Jones and Dyson Daniels for Shea, and Shea. So he's going to score points regardless. But if there's anyone in this planet that can keep him attached to earth, the Pelicans have multiple guys that can handle that burden. Mm-hmm. So I don't think he will be going completely nuclear. And if he does, he's going to have to do it 4 out of 7 times. I can't name many on-ball individual defenders that can be positionless and guard positions 1 through 5 like Herb Jones can. So I don't know, man. If they match up, they'll be dogs, and you better believe I'm going to be dabbling in some Pelicans.
And I'm in New York City. We're fresh off an earthquake, and I think that kind of matchup would set us up for another one, because how many times do you think Lou Dort and Zion would just make contact with one another? And that's just a lot of beef. That's a lot of meat.
They just recently played, by the way, and OKC rolled out this strategy of forcing Zion to his right. Yeah. And they put Lou Dort on him for the fourth quarter. And Lou Dort is significantly shorter. He's stocky, kind of like Zion is. And the goal of which was to funnel him into Chet Holmgren at the rim. And in theory, it should work, because Chet is an amazing rim defender. Guess what? It just didn't work. Like, giving Zion any sort of runway to take off, if it's with his right hand, it just doesn't matter, because he jumps so high and he's so good at finishing. He can go up with his right and he'll just switch midair to his left. And even someone like Chet Holmgren up there just didn't stand a chance, which means you have to start guarding him straight forward, meaning not shading him to either hand.
Right.
That allows him to gather up and power up with that left hand. And what we saw in Sacramento last night, they had 4 guys waiting for him. This guy he's now reaching like his unicorn potential. I think right now that a lot of people kind of gave up on him because it didn't happen in the first year. Luka Doncic kind of ruined it for everybody. When you show up and you're that good right away, now there's an expectation that if you're not Luka Doncic, you're a bust. Like Scoot Henderson, unfortunately, is like he's a bust because he's terrible his first year. He's not a bust. He's got plenty of time.
Yeah.
But someone like Zion was expected to be the next LeBron James in a way. And last night, there is a degree of defenders looking back at the bench with their palms up like Nikola Jokic. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. This is the game plan you told me to do, and he's still finishing on us anyway. So,
and he's playing mad too. He seems mad out there. Like he seems motivated in a way that I feel like we haven't seen from Zion in a while, since like Duke, really. So I'm excited for him. I hope they make a run. I'll be so devastated if we look back like it's Monday and they lose both games this weekend and they're in the play-in, and then we're like, okay, well, we just gave them all this love, and now they're battling it out in the play-in against LeBron, and then we're gonna see all the clips from the in-season tournament. And we'll be right back where we started. I know we got so many people joining us right now. If you are over on the YouTube side of things, we're giving away a rare tier card here in a little bit in honor of our guest, Wob. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel, put hashtag Wob. We'll give that away in a little bit. But Rob, you're going to be dabbling a little bit in the marketplace as we start like putting together some rosters for like our playoff run over on Sorare. And I guess I was like, thinking about like how you're projecting where the playoffs are going to be. I mean, like, I know it's obvious to be like, oh yeah, I think Nikola Jokic is a good buy as the best player in the league right now and on the best team. But I figured what we could do is kind of like take a peek at the marketplace a little bit, and based on like who you think might be maybe teams you think that are undervalued heading into the playoffs, we can start like scooping some dudes. How does that sound?
Yeah, I need to find the next Aaron Nesmith is the goal for this.
Dude, we got to find the next Aaron Nesmith. So
Aaron Nesmith is no longer underpriced.
No, he's no. No, he's no longer. Let's here. I'm gonna pull your screen up, and we can surf on over to the marketplace here. And I speaking of Nesmith, I feel like everybody's given up on the Pacers for this playoff run. I don't know if it's because they've been kind of like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde the last few weeks with how they've been playing, but it feels like people have given up on Indiana. How are you feeling about the Pacers?
I would say I don't know if people gave up on them. They just kind of faded into a little irrelevancy in a way because Halliburton took a step back with his 3-point shooting, and he was on this magic carpet ride to superstardom in the first half of the year. And as they regressed back down to earth, as everyone else does, then they kind of they exist, but they're going to be a matchup problem for anyone in the first round. And my beloved New York Knicks might line up against them. And they've got the guy that loves to torch the Knicks in Halliburton because the Knicks passed up on him for Obi Toppin, who's also now on that team. They have size in Miles Turner that can stretch the floor and bring out the Mitchell Robinsons out of the paint where they're comfortable. They'll be a matchup problem for anyone. They could score points, man. You need to score points in the playoffs. That is for sure. So yeah, I wouldn't completely sell out on them. And Aaron Nesmith's a hell of a defender.
Yeah, I like Nesmith. I'm a Celtics fan, so I'm always like, oh man, I wish we still had him. But it's exciting to see that he's like found himself a role, carved something out for him. I'm kind of rooting for a little Pacers Bucks in the first round. I think that would be kind of fun. Why don't we go over, if you go one more tab over to manager sales. Next to instant buy, and then what we can do is either just we can like select a team if you want to like search a team, or if there's a specific player that you want to start with. I think what we'll do based on what we were talking about earlier is we'll just like focus on the limited card. We don't have to you'll be a man of the people. We don't need to get out there into the super rare streets here of Sorare.
Also, I put $500 into this.
There we go.
What does this get me? Let's find out. So the most expensive limited card on the market is
we see a Luka right there for 152. I actually think it's kind of, I'm not saying of course none of this is financial advice. I'm not saying that Giannis is too cheap, but Giannis right now at only $54, considering like I know he's hurt. I know the Bucks look terrible. But man, we've seen. Do we not forget? I mean, do we forget what happened in that Atlanta series a few years ago, where his knee faced a different direction? He missed one game, came back, and won a championship. You know?
Yeah. God, Victor Wembanyama's priced so not his actual starting price, but 60 for salary cap is
Yeah, I know it.
crazy.
It is crazy. What's nice about the structure of what we're building too is you kind of get one freebie. So whoever like your MVP is does not crush your cap. So like if you start with a Jokic or a Luka, you're not complete toast. But I do think that is going to be one of the challenges when you're thinking about building rosters in the playoffs. Is these the teams really tighten their rotations in the playoffs. So like as fun as your Luke Cornets have been for your Boston Celtics. Like, I don't know how many minutes he will be seeing in like a playoff rotation, because they really do whittle it down to seven or eight guys.
Yeah, I don't mean for dead air here, but
no, you're good.
I'm just scrolling, looking, seeing if anything jumps out. Kristaps Porzingis wearing his Wizards uniform, by the way.
Oh, so yeah, so you can tell there's some different. I'm glad you pointed that out. Like that is from year one.
Yeah, look at this whole row. You've got DiVincenzo in a Warriors jersey, Van Vliet from the Raptors.
But if you scroll up a little bit on the right side, I think you'll see how the DeAndre Ayton. You can see the difference in the. So that's from this year.
Okay.
So, and then for those noobs watching, you get like a little bit of a boost if it's like a current year card. So that's why, yeah. But some may say Porzingis is a Wizard, is a collectible. There's a lot of Wizard fans out there saying, "I remember when."
Interesting. All right. Well, I feel like with the limiteds, I mean, am I thinking about this the same way I would think about physical cards? Like if I have a Victor Wembanyama 2020, his rookie season, like this could be worth something down the road just because it's Victor.
Yeah, I mean that
what he's priced at.
I think that is like that is probably the only yes, I agree. I think that there's like a collectible standpoint from that because it is a rookie, specifically because it's him. I don't think that's true for like I'm a Cam Whitmore fan, but I don't know if like a Cam Whitmore card is going to be considered a collectible down the line. But with Wemby, because he is such like a singular being right now, yes. The only thing is you probably won't be able to play him outside of this weekend. Like you could throw him in a lineup this weekend and then he goes onto the shelf for the offseason.
I'm thinking about next year. I'm like the Spurs. I'm thinking about the future.
Yeah.
I don't need to win like right now. I don't need to assemble a lineup of Wizards. that are like good guys. I think I'm more interested in I want the 2023, 2024 Victor Wembanyama rookie. I'm going to sit on it. I can play him next year.
I mean, that makes a ton of sense. And he is going to be like the number one fantasy guy moving forward for, the next 15 years.
I think he's going to be the greatest player ever if he stays healthy. I mean, it's going to require 20 more years for that to come true in many, many championships, but he's the best basketball player I've ever seen.
I do it. I do like a lot of daily fantasy stuff. I mess around on Underdog a little bit with their drafts, and Sorare as well. And I had decided maybe 2 or 3 months ago that I was like, on a night to night basis, I'll take Luka over Wemby. I'll take Jokic over Wemby, but then it's Wemby. Like I'm no longer Giannis. I'm sorry, but it is now. Wemby's ceiling night to night is just going to be higher than everybody's. He'll have some duds for sure, because you never know, like when they get blown out or he only plays 24 minutes or whatever, but he's incredible.
I want to look at how much he costs as like a super rare.
Oh my, his unique went for something insane. It's like 180,000 or something like that. I might have said that number too high, but over, I don't know, some so rare in the chat will tell me.
So wait, that means there's none available?
None on the market. Nobody's selling them. They're like, why would I sell Wemby?
Why? Is there a unique out there? I'm just curious. Let's see.
Yeah, well, there's a unique owner. I'm sure it's not on the market though.
He's holding.
And I'm not. Yeah, he's holding. He's team hold. I'm not trying to deflate your hopes. I don't know if the 500 in the in the can is going to cover it.
Well, maybe for rare.
No, because you look at Lucas right now, 900. I bet. People just don't. They don't want to get off them. So you can only get a limited Wemby. I actually didn't know this. This is pretty surprising.
So you can buy all of these Lucas, all of these Giannis's, all these great play. Everyone, but there's no Wemby. Everyone wants Wemby.
Yeah, I mean, well, think about it. That was the first. We were building rosters for the playoffs, and your first thought was to get Wemby. I think that's everybody's first thought.
Well, because I'm willing to punt the playoffs and like come back next year with Wembanyama.
You might be the first person to tank Sorare. Like you were like, I'm Team Tank. We're looking forward to next year. we're prepared for the draft.
This is a long-term investment. I mean, I can play. I play multiple times a week with the common cards, and I know there's better prizes at the next level. But if I'm gonna buy something, I want like at least a super rare.
No, I think that's at least a super rare. We're just oh my god.
How those are too expensive. Oh, wow.
Yeah, the super rares are pretty expensive. I don't even mess around with the super rare. I'm in the rare streets, in the limited streets.
You can get a Dame.
You can get it. Dame's probably pretty underpriced right now. I think
the problem is it's like I'm thinking in terms. My brain is wired like I'm buying a physical card.
Sure.
And if it's the 2022, 2023 Dame, that's not a rookie card. That's not him on the Bucks.
Sure.
Like,
and you want the current year one. Like if you're going to use it, you're using it as a game piece. Versus that's why I think your Wemby point was pretty good. It's pretty spot on. Like you're like, this is considered a collectible. Also, Sorare a French company, Wembanyama a French man. I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like if they're gonna put anyone, they're gonna pour gas on anyone's fire. It's gonna be Wemby.
Come on.
Also with the international games being played again in Paris next year, and it has the Spurs. That's going to be a massive rollout. You
were out there. You met our friend George St. Ledger, Mr. Swingman Pod. I
did. He ran into me at the Eiffel Tower and was asking me about the game. It's just this random person, and he was like, "Do you know anything about the NBA?" We tried to stage this whole like, I'm just a tourist, and hey, I found this guy. Let's ask him about the game if they're going or not.
It was good. George, who has also been a co-host, so we're in good company.
Oh, good. Yeah, small world. Okay, so sorry, there's so much news coming in.
I know. I think the Boston Celtics just said I have to travel to play for them tonight.
I'm pulling up props for this game as well. So let me just in those couple of minutes. Tonight, you're looking at me, who has an unhealthy amount of money on the Washington Wizards because at a pick 'em, and the Bulls locked up the 9 seed last night. So here, Jordan Poole was ruled out. That's a problem.
No.
Yeah. Denny Advia is going to be a game time decision. Eugene is going to be available to play. That's good. Now we have Jason Tatum out, Jaylen Brown out, Porzingis out, Holiday out, Derek White out, Al Horford out. Like, welcome to life in lineup lock in the 15-game Colossus schedule here. So now I'm scrolling to see if they took props down.
I don't.
Very annoying.
Is Joe Mazzulla allowed to play? Like, can he play 18 to 20 minutes tonight?
Here, the Celtics thing is that they're third stringers. That lineup of like Pritchard, Cornette,
yes,
those guys they can beat anybody, and they've been beating everyone all year, so they're not losing anything.
Yeah, God, I love Peyton Pritchard too.
They're playing the Hornets too. Ugh.
Yeah, it's gonna be ugly.
There's so many games tonight that are just like where I place my action. They limit a game if there's like major news pending.
Yeah,
they put limits on it, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games that are currently circled for review at this book. So that's what we're dealing with here as we go to a 15-game.
I feel like if you were trying to get props in, you either needed to do it at like 9 a.m. or you have to wait till right before lock. Because I noticed the same thing where they like took everything off the board. I did manage to sneak in a couple of Kobe White props early in the day. So
the good news for my Wizards bet is Caruso was questionable. He's out.
Okay.
DeRozan we knew was out. Vucevic out. So I am essentially fading Javonte Green tonight, who is going to get like 40% usage. If he has a Malachi Flynn game, I'm going to be tilted. That's what I'm fading. But you know what? I do put a lot of equity in, even if there's a bad team, when the lottery teams play their final home game of the season in front of a crowd on Fan Appreciation Day. The crowd there'll be a lot of fans there because they give away a whole bunch of like free merchandise, and you get to go on the court after. So they like the fans want to see a win, and these lottery teams are going to be playing guys that are playing for their careers, like their jobs are on the line. So you get really good effort from no-name guys. The problem is you're going to get a big effort. I think Javonte Green is a go, and he's starting to worry me a little bit.
Yeah, Javonte Green, he's going to be Hercules tonight. He's going to be out there.
So I've got the worst game of the night. I've got the most amount of money on the Wizards as a pick 'em. But let's see where it resets after this news that Jordan Poole is not playing.
Yeah, the Jordan Poole not playing, I was actually surprised about. I thought that we were about to get the Jordan Poole All-Star game tonight. I thought that's
I haven't seen anything about Kobe White, by the way. Is
Kobe White's good to go? Kobe White's good to go. Yeah. That's what I was saying. I was smashing some Kobe White overs early in the day because I had a feeling we were going to say no DeRozan and no Vooch, and I was like, worst case, the bet gets canceled if he gets pulled out.
They only have. We just got the official who's active for the Bulls tonight. Kobe White, Dalen Terry, Javonte Green, Torrey Craig, Adam Sanogo, Javon Carter, someone I can't pronounce, Unuralip Bitim.
There we go.
Andrew Funk and Henry Drell are your Bulls players tonight.
God,
I'm hoping Kobe White goes like the first half, and then Donovan. They're on the second leg of a back-to-back, by the way.
You're right.
They were in Detroit, and Kobe White played like almost 40 minutes last night. Why is he in the lineup? Take him out, Donovan.
Well,
you don't
maybe
need to run him tonight.
Maybe Kobe White gets the Zubac treatment from the other night with the Clippers, where Zubac got ruled in and then didn't play a lick, which was devastating for my bank account. All right, let's do this real quick, Wob. Why don't we, because I know you were messing around with the idea of potentially grabbing a Wemby. Why don't we see if we can get like, I don't know, if you want to go for Wemby, you go for Wemby. But what would be like, maybe we find a couple of playoff buys, like somebody that you'd be excited about for like a potential playoff run. And then once we grab that, we can dive into this slate. We'll go over like some of the injury news, and then we'll load up some projections too, because I know the chat's probably going to start yelling at me soon about projections.
But Wemby's right there.
I mean, listen, I'm not going to tell you not to get a Wemby. It is
right
an in-season card that you said he is going to be the best player of all time. I do think no injury.
That right? I will stand on. He's the best basketball player I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's incredible. I saw him in Summer League for that. We missed the first game because we were doing a live show during the first game, but we saw the second game. And the second game was it was the most insane thing I've ever seen. Like he was standing next to a 7-foot guy and dwarfing him. I'm like, what the hell is happening here?
When he stepped over the entire courtside seats, the first two rows when he was playing the G League Ignite, when he was still with,
oh my God,
with
yes.
Net, he went to go say hi to a friend. He stepped over the entire courtside seating. There's two rows there.
Something I can't relate to.
Yeah, this guy, I know that's not basketball related, but I'm just fascinated by this dude. Okay, so let's get back on track here because I can fawn over him all day. So let's get rid of these. We're looking for playoff buys right now.
I think so. Yeah, like if you were because after this game weekend, right after this weekend, you have a shot at like building out these playoff rosters. They've got Sorare is a great like playoff contest that's going on throughout, where they're giving away a ton of some cash prizes on top of some of the cards that they're giving out. So I'm trying to think of like who, because I think like we were saying, everybody's like, oh yeah, Jokic is a good buy, but maybe some playoff guys that I wouldn't say people are sleeping on, but I don't know.
This is the guy right here. Dante DiVincenzo. He's going to get up 15 threes a night in the playoffs.
He really is.
So if I buy the Golden State Warriors card, it still applies Nick's stats, right? To lineup. It
still applies Nick's stats. The one rule is when you're building your lineup, you have to have at least 1 year 2 card. So that's a year 1 card, which is fine, but you would just have to get another year 2 card to like make your lineup eligible. So I like the Dante call. The Dante call is pretty sharp. Actually, if you click Dante, if you click him,
It's only
sometimes they
$3.
just sometimes they just show you the cheapest one. So you can see you can get a year
Oh.
2 one. You can get the pretty bing bong New York version for I think that says $6.13. I think that's what it says.
Okay, so this will get me into the lineup, right? It's worth the extra $3, obviously, to
Yeah, because that
actually.
also gives you like you can see the percent boost next to it too. So like when you build your lineup, you get an extra boost because it's a year 2 versus the year 1.
Why is it plus 5.5 and plus 7? Because it's a lower number.
No, because
563?
it's been like the person had got it earlier in the season, and they've been so every time it's kind of like I'm not a big video gamer, but for people who are gamers, when you earn XP the longer you use something. So every time you play your Dante DiVincenzo, the next time you play him, you get a little extra boost for it.
Okay. Well, I'm obviously taking the plus 7 instead of the plus 5.5
Absolutely.
for 2 cents more.
Absolutely. For 2 cents, you got to do it.
Yeah, I got to think about that for a second. Okay, so
do.
yeah, I'm taking. Should I just buy it now? Is it that easy?
I think yeah, it's just a couple clicks, especially because your account's already loaded up. You don't have to do anything else.
Let me tell you, they'll take your money easily. That's the easiest part of this website, getting your money into this seamless transition from credit card to site. Okay, so I'm buying now.
Buy now.
So this person, congratulations, you just made $6.14.
There we go. That's huge. That's huge. You just bought somebody a drink. Here,
Oh,
you know what?
I can't type my password in.
I took the screen off. I took the screen off. You're good. You're good. So you're able to do it. Yeah, you can't see it. I mean, you're still sharing it, but it's not on screen, if that makes sense.
Okay, hold on. Let me just buy it then. What's my password?
If you say it out loud, that's gonna take away us taking it off the screen.
Wait, let's see if this works. I think it worked.
There we go. Bang! Look, score. The card is yours. The card is yours. And now the next time you buy one, you probably won't have to enter your password, which is good. So we get the Dante loaded. That's your big playoff buy.
Big buy.
Well, I mean, the Knicks are in a good shape here, I think, for
so how many of these do I need to participate in a?
So you need 5. You need 5 total.
So let's find 5.
So let's find 5. So we got Dante.
How do I go back?
So you can if you just click manager sales again, actually. If you just click that tab one more time, and so you should be good to go now. There's also instant buy, which is like another feature too, where you can just like buy it a little bit more quickly, but
really?
Yeah. So it sometimes it's at like a little bit more of an elevated price, but it's a little bit easier. It's like kind of skipping the auction phase. I'm sure some Sorare nerd right now is in the chat. You're like, that's actually not what it is, but that's my understanding of it.
In that exact tone.
Yeah. They all sound like an older Kermit the Frog.
And how many current year cards did you say I needed to participate?
You only need 1. So the Dante, you technically already have it, but just a reminder, it like gets a little bit more of a boost. He's going to be Magnum says he's going to be 5 way over cap. Well, no, he's only bought 1 card. He's not going to he's only bought 1 card so far. Yeah, that's the one thing. So you have to like fit it into a roster construction, like a salary cap. I know you know.
Yeah, I know that.
So you'd have to find. I think that is going to be the hardest part of it because I think like especially towards like the back end of the season, it's been easy to find value guys because like like we're seeing tonight with the Celtics resting everybody, or like the Spurs who they run out there. There's like a lot of cheap guys you can get, but in the playoffs it's a little trickier because you're getting tighter rotations.
We're going Dyson Daniels.
Oh, let's go. Now we're talking value buys. I like Dyson Daniels for $1.94. Look at us. Look at us. Like I'm also included myself. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously I'm going to take the plus 7.5%.
Obviously,
looks like there's a plus 10, but that's 737.
Yeah.
I don't think that's worth it. Okay, so let's do this one.
All right, which one? Yeah, there we go. I like the Dyson Daniels call.
Okay, done. 2.
Now, are you getting yourself like a real MVP? Or are you trying to get?
I'm thinking about it. I'm getting there.
All right. Sorry.
I'm also thinking of teams that can progress throughout the playoffs as well.
I know we've got courtside who's a Magic fan. He said, Suggs, do you think Orlando? I'm a little bit nervous about Orlando because there's like an outside chance they just like slip into the play-in game this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they'll get out of the first round either. And I
Yeah.
prefer to have these cards with teams that can make the second round.
Yeah.
So with that said, how overpriced is Jalen Williams right now? Let's see.
I actually don't think it's that bad. Oh, no, sorry. You're gonna click.
Oh, I gotta clear the filter. All right.
Yeah. I actually don't think J-Dub might not be that. He might not be that bad because he missed
He's
like
been
some
hurt,
time.
hasn't he?
Yeah. I click the. I don't know why it messes with me too. Yeah, you should be good now.
A little glitchy, but that's okay. Let's see, 38 for Jalen. That's not terrible. This dude is unbelievable.
I met him at Salt Lake City 2 All-Stars ago, and he was like the nicest guy.
Yeah, he was a really good interview when I was doing All-Star game stuff. He was playing in the Rising Stars game.
Yeah.
I asked him for like his he gave one of the most eloquent answers possible.
Yeah. He's just like a nice guy. He's got a good Twitter presence too. I feel like he's got the right amount of like troll in him.
All right, I think I'm going to buy this one, the $11 one. That's plus 6%. He's only cost 38 in the salary cap. That's not a lot for a guy that I think is going to be a double machine come playoff time.
I think so too. I mean, because he's going to be playing like 40 minutes a game. He's going to be a monster.
He's just this guy is so good. I don't really know what else to say about him. He's so damn good.
I know that
he can get to the rim at any time.
Yeah.
He boards, he puts up stats, but he is going to be running 40 plus minutes. All right, let's go Jalen Williams.
And his fourth quarter numbers are so impressive. And I feel like that is indicative of what a playoff run will look like. Like if you're able to do it in the fourth quarter when everything gets tight, that makes me excited for what his playoff numbers will look like.
Okay. We got 3 now. So let's go to try and expedite this a little bit because I know we got to talk about other stuff. Wemby.
I feel like you got to do it. There's been so much talk about it. I feel like I feel like you'll be disappointed if you don't.
I want like a rare though. I'm gonna be snobby. I'm gonna hold out for like a rare or super rare.
I like that.
I'm just looking for inspiration in team names first of all here. Bulls, woof. Okay.
Yeah, I think we might have to find one like low cap dude, and then maybe your MVP as well, just because to like fit that all in, we're probably gonna have to find somebody that's like sub 20.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? If that's the case, I'm just curious. What does Gabe Vincent go for?
Oh,
9. I mean, he's going to be coming back to the rotation here.
That's a great call. And if you think the Lakers are getting in, that is a great call.
Wait, let me think about this for a second. Because, I mean, Darvin Ham trotted this guy out there in the fourth quarter. Is he going to get enough burn? Reeves, D'Angelo. They need his defense, man. I feel like Darvin's going to go to this dude.
Oh, I think so too. Absolutely. I think he's going to be closing for him. Shout out Harrison Fagan on Twitter, who tweeted out today that AD, LeBron, and Gabe Vincent still have yet to lose. I don't know if they've played a game together yet, but it was a solid tweet.
I think, okay, so this is going to be my low cap guy, I think.
I like that. Yeah, that's it. That's a good grab, especially if you think the Lakers are getting in.
Okay.
And it's heat culture coming off a finals run. Come on.
Okay. So now I can go big.
Now you can go big.
Okay.
And you've barely spent anything. So it feels like you might be able to hit.
That's crazy. I've only spent like less than $20. Wow. Okay. All right. Now, no to Giannis. That's a no.
Are you buying the Luka Mavs hype? I mean, every podcast led with that today. Like, are they actually the best in the West?
Every podcast. How many do you listen to?
Too many. Honestly, too many.
God damn. How much time do you have in your day?
Too much. Well, I
Yeah.
get dog walk. We get a lot of dog walking. I mean, I'm not
Oh,
a professional dog walker, my own dog.
yeah, it's too much
Um,
NBA for me. Um, is it a Celtic? It's got to be a Celtic. You know what? Let's just see what Jokic is going for. It's 160. He's 60. I think he's going to be my MVP.
yeah, I think that's your best bet at somebody who's going to play all 4 rounds.
I mean, this is just a guaranteed 40, 15, and 10 every night. And they're going to run all the way to the finals, or at least until they play the Timberwolves.
Wow, that's a hot take.
Is it worth $17 to get an extra 1.5%?
The only reason I'm going to say yes is because you spent $28 so far with building out your entire roster. That I feel like if there was a time to splurge, it's on that extra percent.
Okay, Jokic I'm going to roll with Jokic.
There we go. There we go. The horseman himself.
Okay, so my lineup now is Nikola Jokic is going to be my MVP. I've got Jalen Williams, Gabe Vincent.
Get some J-Dub.
What else did I buy? Oh, Dante DiVincenzo. That's a good one.
That was a good one.
Who's my 5th?
J-Dub. Did we say J-Dub?
Yeah.
J-Dub, Gabe Vincent, Jokic. Who the Dante?
Can I look at my lineups? Where's
No, you haven't plugged it in yet. You're not going to be able to build your playoff lineup yet but if you go to my club. Dyson Daniels. Thank you, Tom.
Dyson. Yeah.
Let's go.
Sorry, Dyson. You were my first, Dyson. You should never forget your first.
That's true. And I feel like that was a sharp one too. Like I don't know how many people were out there scooping Dyson Daniels.
Well, again, it's got to be guys that are going to get play time and that aren't already overpriced.
Right. Absolutely.
That's the whole point of this, because it could just, the obvious ones, we can pick Tatum and Jokic all day, but I can only select 2 of those before I run out of cap space.
And especially if the Pels make it to round 2, all of a sudden the player pool shrinks quite a bit. And I honestly, I feel like the value of Dyson Daniels goes up because more people are like, oh shit, like what do I need to do? Yeah. All right, let's mess around and dive into this slate, because we've gotten like a ton of news, which is just chaos. I'm going to remind people too who are watching over on YouTube, if you're over here on Team Hold Sorare channel, like the stream, subscribe to the channel, and put hashtag WOB into the chat. We're going to give away a rare tier card here at the end. But good Lord, the injury news. I'm going to share screen with our friends over here at Underdog Fantasy, who they've got a bunch of injury news up here. So all of the Celtics are out, right? We got Jokic looks like he's good to go. Luka's questionable. Embiid's still questionable. Tatum's out. LeBron's questionable. Brunson looks like he's good to go. Probable. You got Ant-Man is got a cold against Atlanta. AD's probable. Jaylen Brown's out. Cat's in. Dame's out. Jamal Murray probable. DDR is out, which we already talked about the Bulls. DeJounte Murray's questionable again. Harden's questionable again. Cade is doubtful. Duren is questionable. Drew's out. We got Gordon probable. Franz in. Michael Porter Jr. probable. Scary Terry's got a Q tag. Porzingis is out. Middleton's available. Brolo, Portis, both available. Draymond Green, Klay Thompson coming back after a night off in Portland. Vucci Main is out. Jordan Poole, we've already cried over. Josh Giddey is questionable. Fred VanVleet sitting out after taking 1 million shots last night in Utah. He's tired. Dennis Schroeder's out because no one wants to play in Brooklyn anymore. We got Lowry, Denny, both questionable. Big Al's out. Capel's, this is insane. Capel's questionable. Gary Trent's questionable. Caruso's out. KCB probable. Batman, Grant Williams is questionable. Hartenstein's out. Oh, man, Hartenstein's out. Does that mean it's Mitch Robb night?
Yeah.
Jeremy Grant, Ayo Dosunmu, Anthony Simons, Colin Sexton, Malachi Branham, Clarkson, Collins out. This is the silly season of the NBA. I mean,
this is when you can make the most money, though, because there's so much volatility. That's why it's so. I only have 1 bet in at the moment, which makes me feel like I'm holding a light card with and it's the Wizards of all. But that line did just reset, and it's repopped it. Wizards are still favored by 2. Okay. So I feel, despite not having Jordan Poole, I still feel okay.
Where did you get the Wizards at the beginning of the day? Did you have a big Wizards bet?
What do you mean where?
No. Like what number? What no? Did you just have money line or?
Pick
Just
them.
pick them.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I guess like the because we'll use our friends over at Momentum Labs for projections to kind of look at some of the best value for tonight. But I feel like for the last couple of weeks, it's just been wherever the Memphis Grizzlies are at. Like I feel like those are the guys who provide the most value because they don't play quite a bit, and so. They don't have a cap up in the 30s, and then you've got guys like Scottie Pippen Jr., Jake LaRavia,
What is Jake LaRavia's salary cap price right now? Because
here.
he's got to be the best buy.
Yeah, we'll pull this up right now, and then what we'll end up doing is we'll start like towards the bottom of the cap and work our way up. But here, let me sort by LaRavia first. Yeah, he's got a cap of 23, and he projects for 33. So he projects for like 11 points higher than his cap. But he looked awesome the other night in that Memphis game.
He's projected for 10 higher than his cap, is what you're telling me? So he's a good buy.
He's a great buy. LaRavia is a great buy. Yeah.
Well, compared to like Dalen Terry, he's going to run 40 minutes tonight.
And that's
going to be your best buy.
That's the crazy thing, right? Like here, we'll go down. We'll start with like these lower cap guys, and I'll just kind of highlight a couple that really pop, and then we'll get to some questions in the chat too. So I know you guys are probably hungry for that here, but like Jaden Springer for the Celtics, who's now probably going to play 30 plus minutes with all those Celtics out. He's going to cap a 4, and he projects for like 18 points on Sorare, which is not a ton of points, but that value of somebody who a cap of 4 allows you to play like 2 legit guys. But yeah, Jaden Springer's out there. Kenny Lofton Jr. You have any Kenny Lofton shots?
No, that dude is this is a niche enough broadcast that we can talk about Summer League on here.
Yes.
And that is so the original Summer League GOAT was Luke Herringody.
Yes.
Many years ago.
Notre Dame's finest.
Kenny Lofton Jr. might be there. Because this dude, all he does is get buckets, especially in preseason games in Summer League. He makes a mockery of everyone else out there. And how does Memphis, in the position that they're in with all the injuries and knowing that John Morant was going to be out a significant portion of this season to begin with to start the year off, how do they let a guy like that go? I understand he's going to have to get paid at some point, but last night they were featuring him down the stretch in Utah. And he just delivers. All he does is get buckets.
And he must be well liked because I was watching that game and the bench was losing their shit. Every time Kenny got a bucket, everybody's up. Yeah. Walker Kessler, I've never seen Walker Kessler more excited than any time Kenny Lofton got a bucket. He was up.
That dude can hoop.
He can hoop. He is like it's funny. He's one of the few people where like on TV, you're like, oh, I bet he like translates with how big he is. Like when you've seen him.
Yeah, that's why he's a fan favorite because he's like mini Zion in a way. He can't jump like Zion, but he's built like Zion. He's just a bowling ball of hoops.
He's a more skilled big baby, more skilled Glenn Davis.
You know, yeah. Big baby was taller. Kenny? Just guessing. Kenny Lofton's got to be like 6'5". Yeah, which is a munchkin Oompa Loompa in today's NBA.
Out there, Taylor in the chat said built like Zebo. Even Zebo.
That's a good one.
Yeah. All right. So, but anyways, he projects as like one of the better value guys, right? Cap of 5, he projects for 27. Utah already announced like their entire roster is out tonight. No Chris Dunn, no John Collins, no Lauri Markkanen, all of those guys. And then another Celtic great here. O'Shea Brissett has a cap of 7 to the projection at 26. You see Svi, another Celtic, Svi Mihajlovic. Man, that's a terrible pronunciation. Cap of 9 with a projection of 27. And then Xavier Tillman, another one with a cap of 10, a projection of 22. Are you like, I mean, with those Celtics, like you were saying earlier, right, that their second, their third, their fourth unit are like competitive enough for most of these teams. Does it excite you more because they're playing Charlotte? That it's going to be a competitive game?
No, this game will be on my third iPad at the end of the table. I need to make room for Wizards Bulls.
Yeah, I mean, that's how gross this weekend is you're like, oh, I can't watch Boston, Charlotte. I need full screen Chicago, Washington.
I mean, there are games with implications tonight, especially on the East Coast. It's Magic Sixers.
I mean, that's so important.
Yeah, and then there's Cavs Pacers too. I mean, those two games have massive implications for for seeding purposes. So
Cavs have been a tough watch. I've had a tough time getting
yeah.
excited about those games.
So I mean, they were fun to watch live in Paris because that was when they were like at their peak in the middle of the winning streak. But oh my God, they are what's the appropriate term? They're not like bad, they're not good, and they're not mediocre. They're
a dollar slice. They're a dollar slice in New York, where it's like it's good to get it, but you should also just pay $3 and get a better slice. Like you could get better pizza.
I'm just so unsatisfied watching them play, and I just know they're going nowhere. So it's like, why am I wasting my time?
No. It feels like they'll lose in 6 to whoever they play in the first round.
Yeah.
All right, let's see anybody else in this. Whereas we start to move our way up to some better players, you see, we're going to get to a bunch of San Antonio Spurs, I'm sure. There you go. Dalen Terry, cap of 11 with a projection of 22. We see him pop in there. Yeah, boo the Bulls. Devontae Graham, Devontae Graham, I feel like was like a real fun fantasy type player for a couple of years, and then he just gone, just on the Spurs bench. But he'll get some minutes now. He's going to cap at 12 with a projection of 26. Go ahead.
Fun little wob fact. Back in my day when I was like grinding 24/7, 365, I went all the way to Washington D.C. on a bus from New York just for a 15-minute exclusive with Devontae Graham when he was playing for the Charlotte Hornets. Oh. That's how the game in the game I was. Just for he gave a good interview and I was able to put a video together. That was like 2017. He was right out of Kansas.
I mean, there was real hype with him in Charlotte, though. Like he was
their primary like scoring guard at the time. He was having he was on a most improved player campaign, which is why I think I got the time with him. But I can't believe I went on a 4.5-hour bus ride for 15 minutes with Devontae Graham.
And I think his next stop was New Orleans, and that's kind of where it
he got paid. Like he can retire tomorrow, a happy man.
Yeah.
And he's getting run right now. He's kind of a right-handed version of Isaiah Thomas that just doesn't have the shine.
Dude, that is a great comp. Right-handed IT is great. All right, here we go. I've coined this man the sandwich. I know you're going to be rooting for him. PB&J, Patrick Baldwin Jr. tonight.
We need it, PB&J. We need it. Let's go. Big night tonight.
He's going to cap at 13 and
don't let those fans down.
That's right. Don't let him down. Don't let him down. This is your chance. Let Golden State know they let you go too soon. Also, Omer Yurtseven, he's going to cap at 13. This is so gross. I'm like, here are your best plays tonight: Patrick Baldwin Jr. and Omer Yurtseven, or Yurtseven. But both of those guys, low cap guys. You see Amir Coffee, he also projects pretty well. Sandro, another Spur, he projects really well. And then here we go.
Luke Cornett. Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Our guy Sneeps in the chat every week without fail is like, can you give me the Luke Cornett projections as a bit? And you know what, Sneeps? Tonight's the night. Cap 15 projection.
The Luke Cornett finger wag after he does a successful Cornett contest is one of my favorite things. It actually makes the regular season tolerable for me watching that dude say, no.
He's the best. I think Blake Griffin retired so Luke Cornett could be the funniest guy left in the NBA.
He is unintentionally funny. Dude, I wish he had more. Maybe that's why he's funny, because he's a very like niche NBA guy.
Dude, I'm sure you saw this, but during one of the in-game time, like in-arena timeouts, they were doing like the biggest villains in movie history. And he selected emotional trauma for Good Will Hunting. like, what are we doing, man?
And that makes all the sense in the world.
Deep in his bag. All right, we get to we haven't done any video drops for you while you've been here because we've been so locked in. But I'm gonna give you one here because THT Talon Horton Tucker has a cap of 16 and a projection of 29. And this goes back from a couple of years ago when we were talking NBA Top Shot on this channel. But here's a little THT love for the chat. It was a real throwback. Also, I just realized it's so rare. It's probably like, hey, man, you just did a Top Shot video drop. What are we doing? So I apologize. So rare. But if anything, it was more of a joke. There we go.
When did you make that?
God, 20. He was still on the Lakers, so it was 20. It was at least 2 or 3 years ago, maybe.
It's kind of catchy.
Yeah,
THT.
yeah. We had a couple of.
Dynamite.
We got a Lou Dort one. We'll throw a couple more in here
Look
before we
at
get out of
you.
here. Yeah, yeah. Look at us, we're grinding. Pat
You should
Bev.
create an album, by the way.
We should create an album. That is a really
That would
good.
do well on NBA Twitter if you came out with like 15 player songs that are funny,
That's a
like
good.
THT. The guy
Yeah.
that did you can become the NBA version of the guy that did uh the throwback to the 90s like techno song that went viral.
Oh yeah, those are great too.
Yeah.
Those are great.
Yeah, you could be that version. So good luck.
Yeah, thank you. How about I know Brooklyn is so sad right now. Noah Clowney, is there like a little bit of room for hope for Noah Clowney? I feel like no,
He's also playing the Knicks tonight, who Thibodeau's
that's
sending out the troops to go to war for another meaningless game.
true.
Brunson and McBride, they're going out there for full minutes.
They're gonna be like,
March.
we're resting Hartenstein. But Mitch Rob, I know you're fresh off an injury. How does 38 minutes sound?
No, he'll probably still run. I'd say 20. It's going to be Jericho Sims. Like it's Precious Achua.
God, Jericho Sims. I was a Jericho Sims believer until I witnessed that dunk contest. All right,
sorry to keep interrupting, but now that you bring up Jericho Sims, here's another wob in his grind day. I flew from New York to Los Angeles to go to Clutch's combine where their incoming rookies were showing off in Sierra Canyon High School gym.
Okay.
And Jericho Sims, I thought, was like the worst player in the gym talent-wise. He couldn't make anything because they had like Moses Moody out there who's just like bucket after bucket after bucket. And everyone's showing off like what they do. And here comes Jericho Sims, who's doing like 6-foot put shots. And I'm like, oh God, this guy stinks. But he was really nice. And I don't mean that to be an insult. Then the reason why I bring up this story, what went viral of everything that should have gone viral from Clutch's combine, Jericho Sims decides to jump for a tip slam and he busts his nose on the rim because he jumped so high. And the video of him hitting his nose still going up. And everyone's like, what the fuck was that? And like, all right, who's this guy? And now Jericho Sims is like from that combine. He was a late second round pick. He gets some of the most PT on a playoff contending team out of anyone there not named Moses Moody. So credit to him for like he has athleticism that will make you like drop your phone in person.
Yeah. That man, I gotta imagine there's so much adrenaline running through your body when that happens that you're not even sure if it hurts. Like you bust your nose and you're like, no,
he's just
dude.
Wired in a way that think of a human being's like the way that their legs feel, their calves feel when they walk around. You're walking on trampolines, on springs, and the rest of your body has to be wired the same way. So I imagine that there is testosterone and adrenaline running through those dudes at a different level than us normal people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird as a 5'7", 140-pound guy. I can't relate to
no, unless we're in the pool, doing pool basketball.
Listen, Jared Butler. You ready for some Jared Butler minutes tonight? He's going to cap a 19 with a projection of 29. Washington Wizards' finest.
I'll let you know after this game if I'm a Jared Butler fan or not.
I know. I can't believe I'm invested in it now. Like, I feel like I want the Wizards to win. Those are like most of the value plays. One other guy I'll throw out there. Russ has a cap of 21 with a projection of 38.5. I think if we see like Harden and Kawhi sit again, he probably jumps through the gym. And then Cam Whitmore too is a cap of 22 with a projection of 34. No Freddie Van Fleet. Jalen Green coming off of one of the weirder games I've ever seen. I didn't see any like injury report from him. Only played 17 minutes. He was negative minus 23 last night in that Utah game. And it felt, I don't know what he said to Ime, but Ime was done playing Jalen Green last night. So with no Fred Van Fleet, I'm kind of curious who Houston's going to run out there, but might be some Amin Thompson and Cam Whitmore energy tonight.
Amin Thompson went crazy last night. He's going to probably get some PT.
He's one of my favorite like league pass watches. Like he just, talking about Jericho Sims and like jumping through the gym. He's got like a level of energy that is, it's like unmatched right now.
Yeah, the Rockets have a lot of guys with bunnies in their
Yeah.
shorts. They got a entire farm of bunnies.
Yeah, they're gonna be fun. I think they're gonna be fun in the future. So let's open it up to the chat here. We got about 20 minutes or so left, and we'll fire up some questions. I know people are asking about Trent and Watford, which again, this just tells you like where we are in this season. He's gonna cap a 17 with a projection of 21. Brooklyn kind of stopped. Like he was really hot for a couple of weeks, but I really don't know what Brooklyn is doing right now. I don't think they're trying to win. They don't seem like they're having a good time. Like I haven't seen a quote from anyone in Brooklyn. Like the fan base has turned on Mikal Bridges because of the interview he did with Josh Hart about Chipotle. They seem pissed about that. It's like,
Everyone knows that Mikal just wants to go across the bridge and play with his
yeah,
friends. It's the meme of Squidward looking out the window.
yeah, yeah. I don't blame him. I've been to
But he
plenty.
can't. He's got the best contract. If it wasn't for Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges has the best contract in the NBA when it comes
Yeah,
to value. He's only making like 20 something million for the next. He's locked up too. So you
yeah,
have team control at a number that is like a fourth of what Giannis is going to be getting paid
that's
in
crazy.
just a couple of years. So if he gets traded, the Nets better be getting back as much as they got for James Harden just because of that the friendliness of that guy's deal.
Right. Yeah. I'll be curious if he gets moved. I just don't know who can like present an offer that makes a
Yeah,
ton of sense, you know?
they're
Like
not going to trade him to the Knicks
no,
because why
they've
would
never.
they? Yeah, and just out of principle, there's certain teams that don't trade. The Lakers don't trade with the Spurs. The Nets don't trade with the Knicks. I don't know if the Celtics trade with the Sixers, but there's just some owners that just the Cavs and the Suns. They're
Yeah.
not trading with each
No,
other.
they're never. I was gonna say the only Celtics Sixers trade I can think of is how we landed. I'm on the Celtics. Tatum. I think the Tatum. That's the last Celtics Sixers trade, right?
Draft is an outlier though because
Yeah, that's true.
it's like trading
Nobody's real.
spreadsheets in a way, but oh god,
Man,
that
again, sorry, this is how gross this is so DJP in the chat was saying like, do I play? Oh wait, this must be Jimmy Butler, not Jared, but I thought he was talking about Jared Butler for a second. So he was saying Jimmy Butler, who Miami still needs to win these games, has a cap of 34, the projection of 43 versus like any of the Cavs guys, which just says like how down bad the Cavs are right now. Like I don't know, would you trust I guess like for one game, I get technically it's 2 games, but would you feel more comfortable rolling out a Jimmy Buckets or a Spida?
Jimmy. I get. Well, aren't the Heat? The Heat are playing the Raptors tonight, I think.
That is true. Yeah, they are
Okay.
playing the Toronto Raptors.
And the Heat need this game, but God, is
The
this game
Raptors
going to be
aren't very
over in
good.
the third quarter, and then he doesn't come back out for the fourth?
Also,
I'll take Jimmy,
yeah,
but I can't trust Donovan and Garland as far as I can throw them. So
no. Donovan I think he's had one good game since coming back from injury. He just doesn't look 100% right. Charles in the chat was ranking here. I'll take this one. Ranking Steph quickly, J-Dub and Dante. This might be like a crazy take. I think I'm taking quickly from a fantasy perspective, only because he's going to do everything, and he's looked great. From like a fantasy perspective, he's looked great.
Do you worry that Darko's going to pull him after 3 quarters and just send in like the guys they want to get a look at for next year?
That's true. Right.
We don't know, but that could be a thing.
And I guess like to Steph's credit too, the Warriors still need to win these games because they're trying to get out of that 9-10 seed.
But are we factoring in salary cap value as well?
Yeah, but I honestly think Quickly he's probably got a higher cap than Steph right now, which is insane. But Quickly's cap, so he's gonna this. I don't trust this projection. He's gonna cap at 42, the projection
40,
at 35. Okay. I would say that's pretty high. I would say the projection would be a little bit higher.
Steph?
Steph is his cap is 39. So
wow.
He's actually a little bit lower. Yeah, actually, you know what? It's probably Steph just because you're.
It's got to be Steph. That's a big game tonight against the Pels. This is the type of game that they're going to rely on him to go for 50.
Yeah, and I mean that's why they rested Draymond and Clay last night.
They're going. This is it. Like,
yeah,
this is for both sides. This is going to feel like a playoff game. So it's got to be Steph 1. And I don't know who else was on that list, but
I would Steph IQ then J-Dub probably. Trey Lyles only projects he's going to cap of 18. He projects for 19. Somebody's asking about Bones Highland. Listen, I know Bones went like off, but I think that's pretty reliant on everybody on the Clippers sitting.
Yeah, isn't Westbrook back too tonight?
Yeah. So I wouldn't trust that. I wouldn't trust that. People ask about Dante Exum. I do kind of like Exum, especially no Kyrie tonight. I don't know if we've gotten the. I actually should refresh the injury news here in a second.
Only 15.
Oh yeah, cap of only 15, and he projects for 22. So that is a good call. Dante Exum. Shout out Dante Exum.
50% from 3-point land.
God, I know. And it's just fun that he's in the.
He figured it out, but he was out of the NBA for 2 years and came back with a 50% jump shot. I mean, that's how you come back. He was in the league for his defense. He is essentially what Deuce McBride, what happened to Deuce McBride with the Knicks. I mean, it was just a pick you up 94 feet type guy and play 5 to 10 minutes. And now he's just lights out from three all of a sudden. That's how you survive in the NBA today.
Man, I know we all like all New Yorkers are infatuated with Jalen Brunson, and like Josh Hart is like the comic relief, but McBride is like the son of the Knicks. Like they love Deuce in New York.
Oh, I'm aware.
Yeah, I mean, it is quickly left, and they were like, "Oh man, that was our guy," but they were like, "Actually, you know what? Make room for Deuce."
Well, they signed Deuce to an extension right before that trade happened.
Yeah.
And that gave it, like, we believe in Deuce, but even me, someone that was big on Deuce just as like I love how he just hounds the other team's best backcourt offensive player. He now is a guy that's like taking contested threes out of the corner for us in big spots. And he's the captain of the second unit, exactly what Emmanuel Quickley was when the Knicks bench mob was running over other teams' second unit guys. And that seamless transition, it helps with losing one of our favorite guys in Emmanuel Quickley. But I can't believe that he has gotten this good this fast. And he's under contract for 3 more years for like $3 million. And that's it.
It's a great deal. I mean, listen, I love my guy Peyton Pritchard, but McBride is like Peyton Pritchard on steroids. Like the confidence, like you were saying, where he was taking contested threes. I forget what game it was. It was like 1 or 2. It wasn't against the Celtics last time. Maybe 2 or 3 games ago. He was taking like he missed like 2 or 3 threes in a row, and then got the ball again in the corner and without hesitation launched it up. And I was like, that's a good sign. Like I know he might go 0 for 4, but I love that guy's like, no, I got an open corner 3. This is my shot. I'm taking the shot. I'm a McBride fan. I know I'm not supposed to say
there was a point they were leaving him open as if it was Lou Dort in the bubble when they were just, and Andre Roberson, like just completely leave him over there and let him shoot. And he would make like 1 out of 2, 1 out of 3 for the most part last season. But man, did he get in the gym and get with a shooting coach, because he has become one of the most valuable players on the Knicks right now. He does and his defense is still there too. So
you can tell he's important because Tibbs is playing him 40 minutes. Like
that's how you know.
That's how you know Tibbs like he's one of our guys.
Not 40 minutes is for Deuce. If he plays less than 45, that's a good night for him. He's played 48 back-to-back nights. And Thibodeau's and even Josh Hart was joking in the locker room, like, well, he was rested. He wasn't playing half the year, so he's rested. He's good to go. Right?
He's clean. Oh man. Wait, somebody there was a good one that got us back on track. I know we said Jaden Springer projects really well, but we're all aboard the Kenny Lofton train, right?
Yeah. I mean, Lofton has to be in your lineup. He got featured the entire fourth quarter last night. The ball will be in his hands for 2 straight hours. And I know for a fact he's priced without even looking. He's got to be priced low on the salary cap basis. What's he got right now?
His cap's only 5, and he projects for like 25, like 5x.
That's got to be one of the best buys on the board tonight.
Yeah,
he will go. My projection for him is like 19-9.
Yeah, I like. And he wasn't even that. I mean, I don't know if his price has jumped up since then, but he wasn't that expensive earlier in the day either. Kobe. Yeah, we didn't look at Kobe White. Kobe White has not Jack White. Wait, hold on. Kobe White has cap of 27 with a projection of 41. I will say, Wab, you mentioned this earlier. It is kind of surprising that he's playing. And so now in the back of my mind, I'm a little concerned that he's like available. He starts the game.
I'm telling you, he's going to get the plug pulled on him third quarter. The Bulls only have like 8 active players, but there is no reason. He ran 40 minutes last night. Back-to-back, no playoff implications whatsoever, and he's coming back from an injury. To run him out there for 40 minutes again is insane. Is it something Billy Donovan would do? Yeah, he has a lot of Thibodeau tendencies with his lineups.
Yeah.
But this is if you're ever trying to pick a spot where someone plays the first half and then they come back out of the tunnel in street clothes, it's got to be Kobe.
I wonder too if the only thing I could think of is if they were like, if Kobe plays tonight and Sunday and he puts up 25 and 15 in both games, does he win most improved? That's the only thing I could see.
Not a chance. A asteroid could hit the planet 10 times and Tyrese Maxey is going to win every single one.
I know. All right. MV Bead is saying, looking for Brook Lopez. Yeah, let me get some Lopez at you. He's got a cap 24, projection of 27. I'd be way more interested in Bobby Portis. I feel like he's the one that, from a fantasy perspective, gets like the biggest role change with those guys out. I don't know how many more shots Brook Lopez takes because Dame and Giannis are out. I feel like Bobby's that guy.
Yeah, I don't love this because a lot of Brook Lopez's offense is from dribble penetration from Dame, and then Brook Lopez steps into those trebuchet threes from what feel like 50 feet away, but they're actually only 28 feet away. He has a way of just making every shot look like it is on the other side of the state. The way that the ball arcs out of his hands, it's to his credit, it goes in a lot, but he is reliant on catch and shoot threes. He is never putting the ball on the floor for offense, and he's no longer that post guy either. So without Dame in the lineup, a lot of that goes away. Yes, Middleton is there, but I don't think he's going to get the same amount of those trebuchet threes that he normally gets.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I'd stay away, I think. Maddie, our guy Maddie in the chat, Ant and Rudy, putting those two together, or Donovan Mitchell and Sabonis. I think, go ahead.
Ant's questionable, isn't he, tonight? And they're going to be featuring Cat a lot to see what they get out of him. Now that the one seed is kind of gone, not that they're punting because they're still competing with OKC for 2, and that's going to matter in the second round with home court advantage. Ant has been questionable a lot, and he plays through the questionable tag, but this feels like a night that we let Cat cook a little bit and get him back in his groove. He'll only play, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, I'd assume.
I would think so. Yeah, depending on score and feel. Yeah, I agree with that. We also got some crazy news right now. So Steve Clifford announced he expects the Hornets to play starters expected to play limited minutes for the Hornets. But they also ruled out Nick Richards and Grant Williams tonight. So I don't know.
That means Brandon Miller is going to get benched after 20 minutes.
Yeah, and Miles Miller and Bridges. So and Trey Mann and Micic. So does that mean Davis Bertans? Davis Bertans, is this your night, Davis?
I need you to keep talking because now I'm going to seeing if there is props. My book likes to take down these props.
Yeah.
They took down
they took them all
props,
down.
Unfortunately.
Daniel's asking about Sammy Hauser or Peyton Pritchard. I'm not going to pick one. I think you should play both of them. I think Peyton Pritchard is the best at. Actually, I will pick Peyton Pritchard because he's very good at. Like Sam Hauser's just going to line up and knock down threes. Peyton Pritchard's going to go to the lane. He's going to get some assists. He's going to knock down threes. I think with Lane, Peyton Pritchard, and common man Pat Bev does project really well. You can play him. He projects really well. Let me see. I'm gonna try to catch up here. I gotta remind we're wrapping up here. We're got like 10 minutes or so. We're flying, baby.
That was 90 minutes.
Oh yeah, dude. We're at an hour 19 already.
Well, we did when you're talking so rare.
Yeah, when you're talking so rare, and then the 90 seconds of the intro music that I know you really liked. Let me remind the people who are here. If you haven't done this yet, we're giving away a rare tier card that we'll do right after the show. And you just have to like the stream and subscribe, put hashtag WOB into the chat. And we'll take a few more questions too. Rob, I want to make, I don't know what you got going on, if there's anything you need to plug as well. If I should direct, I feel like everybody that's here obviously knows what you got going on. They follow you, but is there anything going on that you need to get out there to the people?
No, I'll be bringing back I can't announce it yet because the PR department for said company in the NBA has not permitted me to do so. But I will be bringing back a version of the post-game show for the playoffs starting on Sunday. And so I guess whenever I know some people in the chat have been missing the Radio Roulette days. This will not be that. It won't be the exact format, but it will be a post-game show. and we'll do it for the remainder of the summer. So when that goes live, I'll let the people know. But
Awesome.
Nothing as of this moment, other than, of course, Sorare.
So yeah, Matt did want to say plug Birds in the Air, which I liked. I like that.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a given. I mean, but that's also relying. I've been looking at the sky since we've been doing this. I haven't seen a single helicopter go by, so we're all good.
In my mind, it was from news notifications that you knew that it was time to go. But I like that it's more from like you looking out the window and then you're like, it's time to go. We gotta get going.
Yeah, I mean, there's scanners and stuff, but
Yeah.
like when I'm playing tennis, I can see the helicopter. They come flying overhead, and I look up to see if it's a police helicopter or if it's a news helicopter, and it looks like it's full speed. That means they're going to a chase, and I'm like, I gotta go in and check.
Wow, that's great. See, look, we learned something. I like that. All right, let's go. Last minute for questions here. If you guys got, Coop was asking about Chris Middleton. I'm a little nervous about Chris Middleton. I mean, I know he got cleared to go. I know Milwaukee still wants to win these games, I assume, right? So I mean, if he's cleared to go, he's going to cap at 32, projects for 36. I don't know. How do you feel about like just the Bucks in general for their last two games? I know we talked about Brolo a little bit, but any Middleton thoughts?
They do need to win this game. The Knicks can still get the 2 seed, so they do need to win a game. I don't know if they're like going above and beyond to prioritize it, clearly, because Dame's out, Giannis is out. Middleton's going to get a lot of usage, but he's also coming off an injury too. So is he going to run what? What's our guess for over under on minutes? Like 29 and a half for Middleton?
Yeah, I like that. That's what I was in the 28 to 30 range. Yeah, I like that. I mean, if you think Middleton's going to be efficient, sure, but there's definitely some risk involved in that. But I honestly, like, if we're being transparent, I think there's risk in almost all of the players we're talking about, unless it's the guys who don't have guaranteed contracts for next year. Like this one, Arthur saying, what about Jordan Goodwin? Listen, you know what? Fire up Jordan Goodwin. His cap's gone high though, because he's been playing a lot the last few weeks, but he's going to cap at 28 with a projection of 34. But I love Jordan Goodwin, Scottie Pippen Jr., Gigi Jackson, LaRavia. Fire them up. I'm ready for them. I'm ready for all those Memphis Grizzlies.
They have 13 players out because of injury.
It's crazy. I mean, we've had Keith Parrish on the show from, I don't know if you know Fast Break Breakfast, the Memphis Grizzlies fan, and he's been on a handful of times. And just like watching the slow meltdown of like what this season has been, you can just like you can feel it with every word that's tweeted.
The one future I balked on at the beginning of the season, I took the Mavs to miss the playoffs at a big number, and I was about to fire the Grizzlies because I'm like, well, I didn't because of how good the Grizzlies were last year when Ja wasn't in the lineup, and obviously I didn't know that all of these injuries were going to happen. But I'm like, if they are just not as good as they were, and they stink out of the gate, and then if Jaren Jackson Jr. gets injured again, like they might miss the playoffs entirely. And it's so much easier to say now that we know that's all that happened. And if Ja Morant, like when he came back, they had some big wins. Like
they looked good
against the Lakers, they looked damn good. So I would have been like, maybe I don't want that bet. But it was paying out 5-1. We're not talking about 1-to-1 payouts here.
Right.
So, I balked on that, and I am unfortunately gonna have to watch it cash for somebody else. They'll be back next year.
Yeah, they will be back next year. And I hope we got Zion back this year. I hope we get Ja back next year. And then
I just want to see Ja can go to the rim against Wemby and what happens.
Just one time. Because both of them will not be afraid.
Ant and Ja are the only two that I want to see Godzilla versus Ghidorah.
Yes, please. All right, let's start to wrap it here. If you we'll spin this rare tier card giveaway here. In order to qualify, just a reminder, you just have to subscribe to our channel, put #WAB into the chat, and then if you win, you can DM me either in our Discord at Mike Zakarian, all that stuff. Also, just like real quick to plug some of our shit, if this is your first time here, we do a live show Monday through Friday at 9 a.m., just kind of breaking down what happened the night before. You can find all of our links in the description, but we do a daily show called the NBA Bit. We live stream some games over on Playback. I don't know if you guys have messed around with Playback before, but it brings like I don't know, a virtual bar room hang kind of, but you can actually watch the games together. So I'll drop a link to that in the chat if you guys haven't messed around with that before. Come join our channel. We stream a lot of the games, mostly Celtics games because we're selfish like that. But go check that. I'm trying to make sure I have the link right here so I can share it. Here we go. But go check that out.
Content do you create, bro?
Dude, too much, man. Too much, man. Too much.
I'm really washed.
Well,
to this grinder I'm talking to.
Yeah. Well, I think
one.
I think the goal is you cultivate an audience so you don't have to grind as hard. Like you still grind, but you slow the grind down. You were just explaining you were taking bus rides to go talk to Devontae Graham.
Yeah, I know. Back in the day, I was just living vicariously through you, I guess. But
yeah. This is me. I started doing this during the pandemic because I do a lot of stand-up and I was acting and stuff. And when they shut everything down, I was like, let's mess around. I love basketball. Let's do this. And it's kind of morphed into its own thing.
Good. Congrats.
Yeah.
Clearly, it looks good. It's
fake it till you make it, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't tell Sorare that.
No. Yeah. John and Alex. No, nothing has been faked. This has all been very good. People are saying play some jobs. I feel like we can't play more jobs. I want to be fair to our. Actually, the one we can do, which is actually kind of funny now. We had a Porter's drop for our guy Michael Porter Jr., for Kevin Porter Jr., and for Otto Porter Jr., which has since Otto's out the league, KPJ's out the league. I feel like we need to update it with current teams. But I'll give you a little where the Porters drop before we get out of here.
We're the Porters. We share the crowd of up and down performers, throwing things in buzzer beater corners. And one of us is playing for the Warriors. We're juniors and we're the Porters.
Missing from that one, Jajante Porter.
We did get Jante.
What's he up to lately, huh?
Jante was betting on whether or not he was going to be in the video or not. Allegedly. It was allegedly. All right, dude, Wob, I really appreciate you doing this, man. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad we got you a lineup for the playoffs and a Wemby, right? We got a Wemby out of it too?
I haven't bought the Wemby.
What did you buy?
I'm waiting for a rare Wemby to pop.
Yeah. Where it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Somebody will put it on the market.
If it does, let me know. If anyone in the chat has a rare Wemby, you've got a fish right here that will overpay for it. But it's only I'm going to lose interest in it by tomorrow. You have to take. I'm in the shop right now.
I love it.
If I say I'm coming back to buy it, no one ever comes back to buy.
This is good. Limited time only. Start the clock now. 24 hours. Get your Wemby rares on there. All right, I'm gonna spin this thing. If you win it, shoot me a DM at Mike Zakarian. I'll drop my handle in the chat. We'll send it to you. You're not gonna get it today though. You get it on Monday after this game week's over. It's going to Hustle Hoops. Let's go, Hustle Hoops.
Good job, Hustle Hoops.
Shout out to Sorare for helping sponsor this, present it, all that fun stuff. If you haven't signed up for Sorare yet, there's a link for that too. Get involved. They got a sick playoff contest that's coming. Go check out all of Wob's content that's coming down. And then listen, for the last time this regular season, let's get that Skinemax, those vibes going. Let's get that audio going. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Have a good weekend. Out of here.